Hey, how's it going? I want to make sure I got a mic check going. I want to check my settings here. Hello, I'm Kim with the Crafting with Kim, and I'm here with the Crafty Bunch. Okay, mic settings are looking good. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Crafty Bunch event. We're doing floral arrangements today, and I hope that you ladies have been following all the other. Tanya was on earlier, and then Molly, and now it's my turn. I'm actually filling in for Angie. Angie had this 130 spot, but she said she wasn't feeling too hot today. So, Angie, I hope you get to feeling better. And I'm going to just kind of wait a couple seconds here because I know Miss Molly, I'm actually watching her on the Crafty Bunch, and she's wrapping it up right now. But Angie's already got me screamed in there, so that's a good thing. Hey, darling, how's it going? So, yeah, today is like I said, it's a theme. It's all about floral arranging, and I love the little I love both of the projects. Actually, I love the little bunny. Hey, Glenda, how are you? It's good to have you here. I love Tanya's bunny with the eucalyptus. I love the smell of eucalyptus, guys. You guys like that? And then also Miss Molly with her little denim pocket. I think those are cool. I love wall pockets. I make those out of clay sometimes. But okay, so everybody's starting to roll in a little bit. As you come on, I would appreciate you saying hello and let me know if you're a newbie, where you're coming from, all that good jazz. There I am. I can see myself now, so I can look at some comments on that one. And yeah, so if you're not familiar with me, though, by the way, hey, Terry Widows, that's one of my homegirls right there. If you're not familiar with me, if you're first time, I'm letting you know, hey, Ashton's up after me, Crafton Ashton. She's gonna be doing something probably with your chalk, maybe, or something a little different today. Anyway, crafting with Kim, pretty much what I'm about. I got a little tag down there about something new. I use StreamYard. It says founder of Mud.Clay.Art. Basically, I work with polymer clay. Um, I mean, I throw some different things in there. And today I'm going to be working with wood and polymer clay, but I usually mix it up somehow with the clay. That's my jam. That's my challenges. Oh, you might be correct. Well, sometimes I can be a smart, even though I am blonde. But anyway, so Maria, how's it going with you, girl? First time watching from Central Texas. Welcome, Maria. I appreciate you being here. And if you have not joined the Crafty Bunch, then you just need to go ahead and sign over there. It's a free group. Pam, how's it going? Thank you for sprinkling, girls. If you haven't joined me, tap around, on the screen, middle of the screen there on my nose somewhere. You'll see little dots up in the corner. You can go ahead and follow me. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm one of not everybody. I mean, there are other people in the group that work with clay, but I primarily stick with clay. I mean, almost everything I do has got something to do with clay in it. Polymer clay mostly, and you're going to see a project today that is going to be something a little bit different than your average, floral arrangement. But that's the way I roll anyway. I always got something a little different going on. First time watching, Miss Tiffany. Well, how are you doing today, girlie? All right, so like I said, go ahead and let everybody know what's going on. Let them know I'm here, spread some love for me, and show me some emojis, hearts, and all that good stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and get started because, as usual, with me, I have a lot going on. A lot of times I have to prep some of my clay pieces because I do have to bake them. So some of it's pre-done, but I'm going to show you a basic run through. Hey there, Miss Mary, the Painted Peach. These are all the Crafty Bunch girls. By the way, like I said, Craft and Ashton is after me. Ashton's after me. I do have her link in my description. So you guys, and I also have links to the Crafty Bunch. If you're not a part of that, you can join and sign up my clay. I have a clay video course. If anybody's interested in that, you can click that link and look at that and how to get started working with this stuff. And there's Miss Molly. Hey, Miss Molly. I love that. I loved your pocket, but I really love the leopard skate. I thought that was so cool. I'm a leopard print person. I used to have a leopard dresser. I actually painted a red and leopard print dresser I had for years. I'm always got a little funky stuff going on. All right, guys, I'm going to turn my camera down now and get started on the project, and we can chat as we're working. So yeah, like I said, I've got a lot on this table, and hopefully it's not going to be too confusing. It's not going to get your eyes crazy because I've got so many colors going on. Let's see, get my camera turned over. All right. Try to make myself a little bit more organized so you can see what's going on. All right. So what I'm going to be doing, let me move my camera a little bit, is I'm going to be creating these cute little whimsical flowers on these little wooden blocks. And so that's kind of my process. Now, a couple things I want to share with you. Sometimes I walk you through it instead of, I mean, like talk you through it instead of walking you through it because of the time frame. But these were just the simple little blocks. See, they're not even painted on the bottom. These were from the Dollar Tree. Okay, the little blocks you buy there. And I've had these sitting around. I'm like, I got to find something. I'm scrambling around, and I found 3 of these, which is just perfect. And then a piece of old cut wood that my husband gave, a piece of pine. Hey, Susan, how are you? Hey, my cousin's Nancy. Okay, cool. Good to know. Good to know. All right, so what I'm doing here, like I said, I'm going to be creating this little floral arrangement on these blocks in my fun little whimsical style. One thing I want to tell you though is these look stained, but I actually did not stain these. Believe it or not, I just took some brown umber paint right here. I watered it down and got me a big old chip brush, one of these kind of brushes right here. And then I just kind of like lightly brushed it on. And it goes with the grain. You always brush towards the grain. And you'll get a quick little water-based, quick dry stain effect without having to use stain. Stain's great too, but I was in a pinch for drying time, so I went ahead and did it this way, and you can hardly tell the difference. Okay, and that's like a quick, like little hack for staining with paint. Okay, so the next thing I did, of course, I needed to drill some holes, so I just got my drill bit, my little teeny drill bit. These, believe it or not, were wire hangers. I cut the wire hangers. You can see I've got these big old honking pliers here. You need to have some pretty industrial pliers because, believe it or not, wire on these hangers is a lot harder and stiffer than you think. But I got a drill bit about the same size that as the actual wire itself, and drilled a little hole. You don't want to make the hole much bigger because it's going to flop around on you if you do. So anyway, I set it up, kind of figured out how I want to arrange it, and that's what I've got so far. So I kind of wanted to walk you through that process because that would take a little time on its own if I was just to go from scratch. Now, what I want to get started on right now, though, is working on the clay. And I did do a little bit of previews on, I mean, previews, a few of these are already pre-baked. I had to go in there and fresh out of the oven, guys, and do something. Like I said, these are funky. They're not real traditional or real elegant or anything. They're more like whimsical style. But I've got one here that I've already baked. And like I said, this is going to be very free form. And I don't even know exactly how I'm doing it. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. This is one thing I love about clay. But this is one here that I've already baked up. I've got this one here. Some of these are from some old pieces that I had, and I started pulling through my stash and looking at some stuff. So I've got that one already done. These are 2. I've got 3 big circles, and then I got 2 little hearts here. The hearts are going to be integrated on there, and I'll add some little elements on there. But these are already hard, and I've baked them, and I need to do the backs too, but I'm going to end up rebaking these because I have to put them on the wires, and I will rebake them with the wire on there and probably stick the blocks in there and everything. Okay, but what I wanted to show you is I'm hoping to be able to assemble all of this on there onto the wires, and then I will actually do one for you of each one so you can kind of see how these roll. So these I'm going to set aside for now since they're already done, and then as I start figuring out if I want to add something to the heart maybe or whatever, I'll do that. Okay, so now what I want to do here is to kind of show you sort of like, how you can play around with this clay. I've got a piece of white clay here. If anybody's not familiar with polymer clay, let me see, do I have one of my little chunk bags anywhere? I don't think I have anything here. Okay, here's a small one. Okay, this is a Craftsmart brand, and it is, this is a Michael's brand here. It comes in lots of colors. I usually use the big bricks. Excuse me, my husband's working on a project outside, so he might be making a little bit background noise, but that's not a big deal. But usually, like I said, you can get them in various colors, and they come in blocks, and they call them bricks, and then you cut them down to size and kind of manipulate them any way you want. I've got some other little colors here. I just kind of got a little bit of a mishmash and everything since I'm throwing this together as a very whimsical. And this is where you, like I said, you got to get to play. You get to kind of decide what colors you want, pick out your different textures and designs and stuff like that. But primarily for this one, as you can see for the flowers, I'm doing like a background, like a circle background. And then I'm putting like a little flower design on top of it and just, playing around, like I said. And then I'll end up putting them on the actual, on the pieces of the wire. That's what it's called. Okay, so first off, like I said, I don't know. I've got one left out of the three, and I'm going to throw something together on this, but I want to show you how you can work with textures. I'll probably use a little bit of this punchinella. It's pretty easy. If anybody doesn't know what this is, a lot of people use this in when you're doing mixed media work and things like that, and it creates a nice texture. You can paint with it or whatever. I can take my roller if I want, or I could literally just press it with my hands because this clay's pretty soft. As I'm working with this, like I said, if you have any questions about polymer clay, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them. I know quite a bit about it. I'm not saying I'm a expert in everything, but I've got it pretty down pat at this point, at least for doing a lot of hand building, which is mainly what I do. I don't really mess with too much caning yet. I have been thinking about doing some of that. Matter of fact, a couple of my pieces here, I had a little booger in there, have some caning effects in there, if anybody wants to know any more about that. Okay, so I've got my one little circle here. I hope you guys can see okay. All right. So I've got a little white circle here. That's going to be my background. So all I did was run that little punchinella across the top of it. Now there's a couple options you can do. You can, I could paint this with actual paint, which I'll probably do. I think I'm just going to go ahead and go. I was looking for my orange, but I didn't pull my orange out. So what I'm going to do with this one is I will do the blue. I'm going to go ahead and do this color here, this aqua, and this is just your regular old acrylic paints. You find me a brush, and I'm just going to put some color on it on this white. So yeah, you can paint it raw. You know what? I don't want to do that one. I'm going to use a puncher. Sometimes I like to use daubers because this clay before you've painted is pretty soft, but you can kind of daub it on there. You won't lose your, because I had texture on here and I didn't really want to use a brush stroke and lose my texture. Once it's dry, I mean, you can go to town and paint whatever and do whatever you want onto it. Now, I'm kind of going for a little bit of a, you know, kind of an age distress kind of feel. So what I'm going to do is take a one of the like a baby wipe, and I'm taking some of it off. I'm just kind of dabbing it off. Like I said, it's still real soft, so you got to be careful if you don't want to manipulate it into way. So basically, like I said, what I'm doing is I'm showing you how to create one of the flowers out of the three, the big ones, and then we're just going to like play around, like I said, with some different ways that you can color and add things, and then how I'm going to assemble them onto the little wire pieces. Hey, Lisa, how are you? First time viewer here? Well, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Thanks for coming on. I'm working with polymer clay. I usually do. And I'm just kind of walking you through some of the stuff to do with polymer clay. If you're not familiar with it, you can ask questions about it. And I'll give you a little bit of rundown. I have a little video course if you want to learn more about working with it, blah, blah, blah. It's all in the link in my description. Okay, so I've got that, but like I said, that's going to actually be a background for probably, I think I'm going to use this. I'm just totally mixing things up. And what this is here is see how you can actually get, this was just like a couple different clays that I had. I think it was white. I had some red. I threw it in, made a pink. And then I just all kind of mixed, literally like mixed it together. And it creates kind of a fun little marble effect. There's so many different patterns and stuff that you can create with the clay. But this one here is just like a combination of just like mixing it in your hands and then just rolling it out to wherever you want it to be. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead. Like I said, I need to get a little bit of a kind of a flower design to actually put on top of this one, and I'll add a little bit of something else on here because I want to kind of grunge it or age this little piece down here. I'm waiting for this to dry a little bit. It does dry, even though, like I said, it's on the raw clay. It will dry fairly fast, I guess. I mean, it does pretty good. But it's still raw. Remember that the surface of the paint will dry on the raw clay. And why do I want to paint it when it's raw? Well, a couple reasons, especially if it's going to be something that's going to be functional that you want to get wet and all that. It's better to have it baked before you do it instead of doing it after because it kind of bakes into the clay. It makes it more durable. I don't know. Can you guys see okay? I feel like I'm kind of far away. I can bring my camera in a little bit if you need to. Let me scooch over here. I don't know. Oh, I just spilled my darn soda. Well, at least it was clear soda water. All right, so we're going to go ahead and leave that there. That's almost dry. So what I'm going to do here, like I said, this is kind of cool. Like it's just, yeah, I can mix it if you mix it. Matter of fact, let me do that. Let me just mix it down a little bit more so you guys can get a sense. Man, this got water, bubbles all over my side net here next to me. Okay, so like I said, you can mix this with your hands and just kind of make it whatever you want to make it. I didn't want it to mix it up too much because I did want the variations of colors. It's pretty soft and pliable. It depends on the brands and the humidity and your cold and all that depends on how much how easy it is to actually manipulate the clay. In the beginning, the bricks, they seem a little hard, but if you cut it in like little pieces and then just kind of roll them in your hands and start conditioning it and get it started, it's not too bad. I think it's pretty cool. So there, see, by rolling it more, I got more of that burgundy tone going on, which I don't mind, but it gives it that nice little kind of a marble effect is what I think it is. And that's kind of what I'm going. I'm just using a bunch of scraps, honestly, things that I had left over that I thought I would, try to use for this project since it's a very free form, whimsical kind of project. So, okay, this is just from Play-Doh. I had some things laying around. Any kind of cookie cutters, patterns that you can cut out with paper, anything like that that you can use for cutting out your clay or making designs or just doing whatever. I have a variety of different ones that I've accumulated, and there's a ton of different things you can do on the market. So this one, I just like the scalloped edge on this. I also have these little guys. These are flower cutters from like cake fondant. Cake fondant stuff works really well with the polymer clay. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch that out right there because I'm going to put that on top. I think what I'm going to do is add a little extra bump on this, and then I'm going to take some brown chalk, pastel chalk, and actually put that on there. Now that's kind of a nice design. Let me pull it up. I know it's hard for you guys to see. I'm trying to get a little closer. Okay, this little cute design is it, but it's kind of boring. It needs a little something extra added to it, don't you think? All right, so I'm going to add a little something extra on top with that, just for textures and fun. But this one, since it's kind of a little bit on the drier side, what I'm going to do here is I've got chalk pastels. Okay, you want to get the dry ones, not the ones that are oil. And I've shaved a little bit off of it with, you just kind of shave it off with an X-Acto knife, and I'm taking it dry. It's like a dry powder, and I'm brushing it on, but I want to get like a little bit of a kind of an aged effect on here. I want it to be real light. Hey, Donna, how's it going, girl? And I'm kind of doing this number. You're not going to see as much of this because it's going to be behind the other piece, but you'll still be able to kind of get a little bit of effect on it. All right, so let me see if I can bring that up. I know, like I said, I probably should have my camera a little closer, but you can kind of get an idea. See, by adding a little bit of that brown on there, it just takes it down. And once it's dry, you can actually add more on there, not with the dry pigments, but once it's baked, you can go back with paint and paint it as much as you want and add to it. But for now, I just wanted to add a little something of the touch of brown and put a little bit more around the edges. So I found out this is my way of grunging with clay. A lot of ladies out there are doing the grunge thing now with the cinnamon and the coffee, but I don't know. It might work on the clay, but I figured I'd just do this way, and it's not a lot easier. And I know this works using the chalk pastels on it, but it creates that same little grungy kind of thing. You're from Texas, Donna. Okay, what part of Texas? I used to live in Texas. I was actually stationed in Beeville, Texas in the military. My daughter was born there many moons ago, back in the 80s. So, all right, so I got that little guy. Now I got to work something up on here. I like to just, this one depends on what I'm doing, but I'm mixing a lot of funky colors together. I think what I'm going to do, I've got these little dudes that I wanted to integrate somehow. So I think this is, like I said, it's very wonky, not wonky, but just different textures and colors going on. And I purposely am doing that. These little dudes right here, see those little guys? Those are actually, the camera going to focus. I got this really great camera. There we go. But it's like a cane where you actually roll it out and you roll it up and you create these different colors. I was just playing around with these colors, and I had these little cane pieces, so I thought I would stick them in there too. Now I want to add a little something else on here. I don't want to get my colors too funky because they might look a little weird. But you know what? I'll use a little bit of this green here. See, I got this green slab over here, and I was going to use that for one of my flowers, but then I got to realizing I've already got this one here. So it's kind of like a blue and green tones, and I want to do something a little different. Because I do try to, even though this is kind of a kind of a mishmash in a way. I do want the colors to kind of all tie in at some point. You know, I don't like that green. I'm going to use white. I think white will be better. So how's everybody doing today? Houston, Texas. You know what? My family, my husband's family, a lot of them live in Houston. Yeah, they're from Mexico originally. Well, some of them are born here in the States, but you know they're Mexican, Hispanic, and they a lot of them do live over there in Houston. We've never been over there yet to see them, but once I get this on here, I'll bring it up so you can see. But I'm just taking like little balls of white and just kind of throwing them on there. Like I said, even though you're making like a funky kind of abstract, whimsical thing, you do want to kind of tie your colors in somehow. You know, just having one color of something might look a little bit off. So when you're doing a piece like this, it's best to tie, even if you've got 5 or 6 different colors going on, to at least tie the colors in the whole composition of what you're doing so that it looks like it fits more, you know, instead of having like an oddball of something. All right, and that's kind of what I do. Even though you can see that I've got different colorings and whatnot going on, they'll all kind of tie in once I get them on there. And I'm going to add some more yellow in the mix too somehow. All right, so these are really fun to do. And it's seriously a, hey, Melanie, how you doing? It's like playing in the clay. This is where you can be like a kid and get really creative and fun because there's so many cool textures and colors and stamps and just all kinds of fun little ditties that you can do. All right, so I got 2 more little balls. I probably should have had, I usually try to do all this little tedious work ahead of time to make it easier for you guys. But I figure since I'm only doing one, then let me see, I'm on till 2:15. Ooh, this is going fast today. All right. Remember, you guys, keep an eye on the Crafty Bunch girls all day today. Ashton's after me, and I know she's going to have something cool. She always has amazing things. All right, so yeah, so I'll bring this little guy up so you can see it and see how that one little piece now just comes alive with something kind of cute. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus. I have to wait a second. Come on, camera. There we go. All right, so you know you can add more onto it if you want. Like I said, you're just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just taking a lot of different pieces that I have and kind of putting them together. And that they stick to each other when they're baked, so I don't have to worry about that. Now, what I can do, just add a little extra something, something. I think might go ahead and put a couple of these little uh, purpley kind of guys. It turned kind of purple on me, which I was wanting to be more burgundy. If I wanted to, I could have gone back and repainted the burgundy on there, but whatever. It is what it is. Like I said, a lot of times when it comes to this stuff, I just sort of wing it. Sometimes I'm really specific about my colors, and in this case, no. All right, so and now I'm going to take a stylus on that one. Sometimes I like to poke these little guys, little teeny stylus like that. Poke a little hole down in there. All right. Now, okay, so you can see these are very, like I said, very whimsical, fun flowers. You know, they're not your typical floral flowers. Sprinkled. Oh, thank you. Now I'm getting called doll, Melanie. Okay, I love it. Nobody ever calls me doll. All right, so there's one that's unbaked. And of course, like I said, I'll end up, you have to put these in the oven and bake these for, I usually like to bake them, depending on what I'm doing, at least 30 minutes. Thickness has a bearing on how much you do it to, how long you bake it and whatnot. But yeah, so that one's got to be baked. And I'll be adding that one on to the end. Now, that's pretty much how I created that. Let me go ahead and show you one other quick little thing. And then I will start assembling at least as many as I can onto the pieces of wire so you can see how this. All right, so I've got I cut a little cutout here. I'm actually going to be putting these, oh, hold on a second. Let me grab these over here. I had them in the oven and I forgot to bring them over here to have them ready. So I pre-baked these as well. This is called, it's going to say Love Grows Here. Okay, Love Grows Here. And that's going to be on the fronts of the blocks of wood. So it'll be like this, like Love Grows Here, kind of like in a line. So anyway, I already, I kind of, you know, did my AKA grunge down on these, and I was going to show you one method of doing that. Pretty much like I did before with the what you call it? the chalk. I'm taking the brown. You can take whatever color you want, but usually if you're grunging, you're doing like browns or black. Black's pretty harsh. And then I'm literally just taking it and kind of dabbing it in there. I want to try to get it inside those letters. This is one method. You could actually stamp it with ink too, if you want to. I try to get it in there. And this brush, I probably need a little bit more, like a sturdier brush, but I didn't want it to be too strong on the bristles because I didn't want it to mar the clay that much. But that's pretty much is going to do it, I think. So then what I do is, see how it's more brown? Now that looks kind of cool right there if you want to leave it, but hopefully it's not too dirty. You can take your handy wipe or your baby wipe and go back over there and take some of that other color off and make it stand out a little bit more. So that's pretty much what I did right there. Oh yeah, they're going to be cute, Mel. I figured you'd really like them because I know you like to do a lot of whimsical stuff too. So anyway, so that's pretty much how I do my quote unquote my grunge for clay. All right, one way. There's several ways. So that one I don't even need. I just kind of wanted to show you guys that. But I'm going to take this glass because I need to use this to bake this. This one, I guess, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and bake that and I can use that for something else. All right, so now that I've got pretty much showed you how I put together one of the little whimsical flowers, I've got about 20 minutes, so I think I'll be able to get to the point where I'm actually able to assemble these. All right, so move this up a little bit. Bring this back over. Okay, let me put my camera up so you guys can see a little bit. Hi. All right. Anyway, so what we did here, I've got my blocks. What I'm probably going to do is put this on. I'm going to glue this. I'll glue this all down so it'll be one piece. I thought about leaving it separate, so you guys can kind of give me some ideas. Hey, Helen, how are you? Hey there, Miss Ladybug Bones. Hey, Tammy. Whether I should actually leave these, like not glued on the piece, but I thought kind of gluing it together as one assemblage would be the way to go. Once you guys see it all together, you're going to kind of understand because it might look like, what is this craziness right now? But I'll see. But I think gluing it down because it's got to be like in the same order, whatnot. We'll see. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one here. We'll start with one. We're going to put the flower on the stem because, like I said, this is a you could use floral wire. I was just too lazy to go to the Dollar Tree and get any this morning because this is like a last minute throw together. And so I had some wire hangers and they're actually really sturdy. Okay, so now that the reason I pre-bake these is because this clay is a little soft and I need to be able to handle a little bit better to put it on the wire. If a person wanted to make their piece of clay like thick, about like that, you could, but I didn't really see the point of using the clay that thick. So what I did is I will finish this off on the back, but I've got this little tab, and it might look kind of funky, but I think I'll actually make it into something cool on the back. But I had to pre-bake this part so that I could add this part to be able to put it on the yeah, you're doing good, Helen. Good deal. Glad you're here. Thank you for sprinkling. I really appreciate you ladies doing that. So what I did really is just have like a little dab of ball of clay, and then I just press it on the back. Okay, like I said, this clay sticks to each other. You can bake the clay together over and over again. These are several different types of clay. But all I'm doing is just doing that little number to create like a little pocket so that I can have the little guy sit on here. I might have to put a little of that glue stuff to kind of, it's fine on when it's baked, but when I'm handling it, it might want to pull off on me. But I'm just kind of pressing that down on there a little bit because I need to have my little wire. Now, is that where I want the flower to be arranged? I think that's kind of cute. Yeah. Like I said, if you want to make just a thicker piece and just, literally like poke your piece, and you can use dowels like skewers. You don't have to use wire. You could use skewers and paint your skewers up if you want to do it that way. Can you buy the blocks pre-drilled with stems? I don't think so, Lisa. I had to do that unless you want me to do that for you and send it to you. By the way, ladies, I have my own personal Mud.Clay.Art group, which if you look down underneath my name there, I have an own personal group. It's called Mud.Clay.Art. It's in the link. And I'll be honest with you, I started it last year to be like a private little membership group so we can do projects together that you would not see me do live. And I would actually walk you through the projects. I'm thinking of trying to revive that probably after, well, probably in the summer or something. I'm going to be semi-retiring and I'll have a little bit more time on my hands. But if anybody's interested, just, stay posted, or you could even put in like hashtag mud. And, when the time comes, I'll let you guys know more about that. Because that will be a fun group and it'll be very inexpensive. It'll just be a time we can actually get on Zoom and we can, be together and see each other's face and do some really fun things. All right. So anyway, so there's one. Basically, that's how it's going to be on there. And once I get it baked, I'm actually going to bake it just like this. I'm going to stick it in the oven just like this. I don't worry about it because you can bake the wood, you can bake the metal, you can bake the clay, and don't worry about that back part. Like I said, I'll fix up something real cute and make it so that that's kind of, maybe you need a little bit thicker. You got to make sure it's somewhat thick, that it doesn't poke out, that little rod doesn't poke out on you. But anyway, so I'll play with that before I get it in there. But you get the general gist. And then I can finish that up. I'll probably make it look a little prettier on back, and I will paint it up once it's done. Okay, so there's basically one. Okay, they are going to be cute, Jeannie. I think they're really cute. Now, yeah, I got the general gist idea from Pinterest, but I'm totally doing my own thing. That I've just got the idea of doing these little guys. So I've got this one. Okay, and let's see. I've got 15 minutes. Let me go ahead and do. Where's the other one? Right here. I've got this one here. And I think that's going to go on the opposite side. So I need this little guy here. I don't even need this right now. Put that out of the way. So I've got this one here, and this, like I said, they're definitely not flower. They're my own version of a funky, whimsical flower. All right, that's what an artist license is all about, right? You can make it your own, and they are fun. I mean, come on, think about it. It's like a kid. You're sitting there playing around with all this clay and just doing fun textures and patterns and designs. And like I always say, that's one of the hardest parts for me with this clay is there's so many things I can do. I can't decide what I want to do. I'm trying to figure out what would be the part I want to be the flower. I think I'm going to go with this right here. All right, so like I said, I'm just pressing this on here. I'm going to put a little extra of that glue there. This is a polymer clay glue. I've showed it many times, but you can bake this clay, especially made to be able to be baked with the clay. And it doesn't dry until you bake it, but it works really great for holding little pieces together. And since that rod's up in there, that little piece of wire, I just want to make sure that that's not going to be sliding off on me. So you can kind of see what I'm doing. It's not going to be sliding off on me while I bake it. Technically, a person could try to bake, you could bake these flat, literally like bake it flat like that. But I'm going to leave them sitting up in the blocks. I think it'll do okay there. I don't think they're going to slide or move. And I think they'll be fine. All right. So there's number 2. So I'll probably end up fixing them a little bit better before I put them in the oven, just so that you guys can, so it looks a little bit more secure. But once these things are dry, I'm telling you, they're pretty durable. Like I said, you can do outdoor. You can set these things outdoors, and they're very waterproof. All right. So there's 2 right there. Put my camera down a little bit. There's going to be 2. Okay. Now let me see. The third one has to bake. That's the one I just showed you. However, I do have my hearts, and these little hearts here, I wanted to add a little something extra on the hearts. So let me do this number here. I want to throw something on there. What can I put on there to make it kind of cute? I'm trying to think. Colors. I've got, see what I've got. I've got the aqua going on. I definitely got that going. I got a little bit of orange. I think what I'll do is I'll throw some orange here. I've got this orange, little teeny bit of orange. I'll toss that in there. And then I'm going to do something on the heart too. You could either paint it, or you can just add another element on there with the clay. Oh, you know what? Yellow. Yeah, let me tuck a little bit of yellow on there just somehow. Now you could take these colors and mix it down too if you want to. Actually, to mix it down. I think I'm going to put like just a little something in the center. Just, something fast and easy. Pop that off of there. slide that off. Oh, you guys can't see. Sorry. You got to tell me that. Yes, it will be cute. I don't know if anybody saw, but a while back, I made a flower bouquet, button flower bouquet. Some of the buttons were actual buttons, but I made a lot of the buttons and a lot of the flowers from clay. It was so stinking cute. As a matter of fact, I think Deb Kaiser, not Kaiser, Deb Kraus bought it from me. And she said she loves it. So yeah, there we go. I'm just adding, just just playing around. And maybe a little bit of something else on here, just a little bit of dot. If I had the time, I would have probably rolled out some other little pieces to add on there to make it more like funky and little lines and piping. And oh, I just gave me an idea. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Maybe I can throw this in here. Piping. I like the piping idea. Piping, basically, I'm just rolling it out. I have an extruder that actually puts the strands out like this, but I don't need a lot. Oh, I got that all dirty, didn't I? It doesn't matter because it's kind of grungy anyway. My hands. One thing you got to keep in mind, if you're working with white clay, you got to, there you are. There's Deb Kraus. Oh yeah, you're tempting me. Yeah, that's why you're here. Good deal, girly. But yeah, is you want to make sure your hands are super clean and your surfaces are super clean because white clay gets dirty in a heartbeat. Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous to keep it clean. There's even people I've seen with tutorials out there that wear gloves and whatnot when they're working with it, and that's not a bad idea. So I'm just going to put a little piping around this guy real quick. Yeah, this actually, but it's funny, Deb, when I was doing this day, I'm like, oh, this reminds me of the little floral, what you call it, the little floral bouquet, the button bouquet. Come on, Kim, stylist. And I thought, you know what? Um, I might keep this one. We'll see. Because honestly, I was initially, that one was for a fundraiser. I remember that. And I was going to make that for myself. And I ended up donating it for fun, for a good cause. And I never have made myself another one. Let's see if I can get that piping to stay on there. Looks like it wants to come off. Yeah, stay on there, turkey. Because I'm trying to I got 10 minutes left and I do want to at least kind of get it somewhat assembled so you can see it. What I really need to do is actually bake this one flat. If I bake it flat without putting it on my piece, I'll be able to do it. If I try to lift it up and put it on there, let's see. If it doesn't, I'll just change it around. All right. I'm really, this guy said, this is a very whimsical freeform thing. It's not about, to me, having everything perfectly and exact. I kind of like the fact that it's a little bit grungy, a little bit this and that, because it's just supposed to be fun. All right, so this one, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to put the little ball on the back so they're able to get that in there. So I want to get this on here, get that on there, and then one of these guys is going to be for my, what did I actually just put that clay in my mouth. Can you guys believe that? That's nasty. I've never done that. But my hands are full. This is actually, you do need to use a non-porous surface because your clay gets real sticky. You can use silicone mats as well. Sometimes I do those depending on the project. But yes, this is a tile from Lowe's. Yeah, it's just a piece of individual tile I got. Sometimes my hubby comes home with different pieces because he's a plumber and he always has scrap things. So, but yeah, either that or pieces of glass, a little piece of glass. You see my surface here is actually glass, my one surface, because I work with it all the time and I just keep that non-porous surface on there. So yes, Lisa, that was a good question. Thank you for that. So yeah, I'm just putting that little daub back there so I can get my my guys in there. Sorry for my raspy voice, guys. I've been having throat issues the last couple of days. I'm starting to talk like Bonnie Raitt. She's got that raspy voice, right? That's going to bug me. All right, I'm going to take that. I'll have to put that back on. But at least for now, what I want to show you is how I'm going to assemble it. Because I'll probably end up baking that flat and getting that piping on there if I decide to do the piping. My hands are getting sticky. I need to if your hands do get sticky, wipe them off because that stuff can get kind of sticky, or you can use cornstarch and it'll help too, which I do a lot. But I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on here, and then I'll try to get those hearts on. And if I go back and add some elements on there, hey, I'll do that when I got camera. But I just mainly wanted to show you guys. how I'm putting this together. And like I said, I got just a couple minutes. Or some people might be thinking they can't get through their time. I never have enough time. I'm always like rushing through stuff because I got so many pieces and elements to do. All right, so that one's there. Okay. And let me get the last one on there. And then, like I said, you'll see me when the finished piece, I'll have decorated this up a little bit more and made it, cuter and whatnot. But for now, for the sake of just the camera and getting it assembled, I'm just kind of throwing it on here. So I want you guys to see the basics. This is where you get to use your artistic license anyway, where you get to play with it and do whatever you want to with it. Okay, one more. You guys having a good Sunday? Everybody doing good this Sunday? I'm sitting here in Florida, still beautiful weather, a little chilly, but I know some people are still dealing with that cold weather up there. And God bless you, not me. Okay. All right. So there we go. That one's put on the little stick, their little piece of wire. Okay. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is just basically throw it together a little bit so you can see. What I will do too is once I get all, I'm going to turn it around for the camera view so you guys can see pretty much kind of how it's going to look. So, okay, turn that one like that. Come on, Ken. All right, that one's going to be about like that. This one will sit over here like this. Okay, about like that. What I'm going to do is once these are actually baked and everything, I'll go back in and put some Gorilla Glue in here so they won't move. And then this one will be sitting like that. Okay, that one will be like that. I'll have the one that you saw me make. It'll be sitting behind it like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'll probably decorate this maybe a little bit more on the wood, but I've got my love grows here. I've got 5 minutes. Oh, I'm good. I can slow down a little bit. Good night. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and should I do that? Well, yeah, you know what? Maybe I can. Maybe I can. I can put these on after they're baked, but I think I'm going to go ahead and, since I'm going to bake this the way it is, I'll see if this polymer clay glue actually holds up on this wood. That'll be a little bit of an experiment for me. I could always glue them on afterwards, but I'll try to put them on like that. So we got love. All right. Gross. Oh, and I thought about I'll probably add a snail. I haven't got that far. But maybe I'll do another quick live and I'm going to put a little snail down here or a little bird or something kind of cute. Just add a little bit extra element on there. Love grows up. See, it's starting to slide down. Well, we'll see. This glue is super tacky. It's almost like Eileen's tacky glue. Crazy, crazy tacky stuff. But does that look pretty even? I need to get it somewhat even. Well, it's sliding down on the wood because it's not really made to stay on the wood. If it doesn't work, then no worries. I'll just put it on afterwards. But I thought I could kind of kill two birds with one stone, and not have to add too much more assembly after I'm done. Thank you, Angie. I'm glad you like it. I think it's kind of cute. Like I said, once I get my other little guys on here, like that, and that's pretty much what it's going to be like. I'll add my other little elements, and isn't it cute? My little hearts. So it's still kind of like, I love hearts no matter. Oh, you know what I forgot I was going to do too? Hold up. I've got some extra little, hold up, these little beads. I had a whole bunch of these little guys just from other projects. And so what I'm going to do is I'll slide a couple of these guys on here like that, maybe one or two. It just depends. I kind of play around with these and see how that's going to be. I've got a really cool one over here too somewhere if I can find it. Oh yeah, this one's really neat. And if you polish these and like polyurethane on them, man, the colors pop like crazy. So yeah, I'll add an extra little color touch on there. I could actually bake them on there like this if I want to, but I'll probably end up taking them off. But you guys get the general gist, like how it's going to look. You guys like it? Is it going to be cute? Yay! So, and add my little birds or my snail. I think, what do you guys think? A bird or a snail? Should I go with a bird or a snail? I've got 2 minutes left, guys. 2 minutes. Let's see, love grows here. There you go. Yeah, so tell me, what do you guys think? Should I put I like the snail idea. I think the snail is kind of cool. And they're really fun and you can do a lot with snails. But yeah, so these I'm gonna rebake these. I'll bake my other one and then I'll get the rest of it assembled and of course share some cool pictures. Snail. Amy says snail. Lisa says bird. All right, so let's roll in those comments for the last 2 minutes and let me just switch my camera over and I'll say goodbye because I know I'm about out of time. Like I said, don't forget that you got to go over and see Miss Ashton because she's going to have some bang stuff going on. She always does. But see, there we go. You guys can maybe see it a little. Let me move my camera over here. Yeah, sorry. I've got a laptop in front of me and it's not too far away. So there we go. Oop, sliding down. Whatever. Maybe I should have let it tack up a little bit before I put it on there. Love grows here. Yay. It's going to be cute. All right. Oh, I got 1 minute. Guys, Crafty Bunch. If you haven't joined, if you're a crafter, you want to get involved with this, you see me, you talk to me, go to one of the other girls, and then, yeah, this was fun, and it is going to, like I said, I'll add some more elements to it and make it really super cute. But yeah, you guys go refresh if you're watching the Crafty Bunch. If not, go to in the end of your pages, show all of us ladies love, and we'll be back on Wednesday. What we're doing on Wednesday? We're doing create with chocolate, not chocolate, the color chocolate. You get to make something with the color chocolate, and I will be there. I got some cool things going on with that. So have a good one. Go over and see Ashton right about now. I think she's probably rolling already. And keep watching the rest of the crafters. We're going on to like about 6 o'clock tonight. Okay, you guys, love you. Let me know if you want to know any more about clay. Give you the insides on that. All right, bye bye. It's good seeing all you newbies.